Remember when you were 6, 7 years old and you looked up at an adult and thought, wow, these guys really know what they're doing. They're really mature. Nope. As we get older, we kind of realize that everyone's just acting grown up. And in moments of weakness, like when you lost that game of Monopoly, or when your friends are getting on your nerves, or even when you're in a relationship and you have a vulnerable or happy moment, we kind of forget that role we're playing and we just act on our instincts. And those instincts are usually pretty childish. So it sparks the question, do we all have an inner child and what does it look like?
As a guy, what are some of the things you hate? Nagging, hinting, indirectness. Unpleasant, isn't it? But there's a deeper meaning as to why we hate these things. And we're looking into the inner child of a man first. The inner child, for those who don't know, is a part of your mind that starts getting information before you fully understand it. This part keeps old feelings, memories, and beliefs while holding on to your wishes and dreams for the future.
Whether it's societal expectations that as a man you have to be the breadwinner, you have to be the man of the house, or experiences you've grown up with where people are telling you you have to be responsible for your actions and words. You probably heard the phrase, be a man of your words. And honestly, that's a lot of pressure on us guys. And I feel like whenever we hear that sort of thing, we're probably thinking, if something goes wrong, why should we be the one taking responsibility for this? Or, I know I was gonna do that thing, but I just don't feel like doing it right now. Why do we like to date around when we're younger? To get married? Not usually. We like to do it for the fun and thrill. When we're kids, we like to play with toys, and that's what's fun for us back then. And somewhere along puberty, something snapped in our brains, and overnight it seemed like toys weren't that entertaining anymore, and we wanted to do something more. We like to go out and date people, for example, and that's something that's interesting to us. So essentially, it comes down to us guys being kids at heart. It's only that the things that we enjoy to do and the things that entertain us change over time.
Guys love to hang out with their guy friends because it's when they truly feel free. Not saying you can't be free when you're with your significant other, but when a bunch of guys get together, it's sort of like a bunch of kids playing around the playground. Their inner child is instantly brought back to life and all their problems melt away. I'm sure you've seen countless of videos on Instagram and TikTok or even memes of what women think men are doing with their friends. And it turns out they're just fucking around doing the most random things. These are all moments of the inner child. These are all moments of men just acting out their inner child instincts, which are innate and deeply rooted in guys.
Which explains why men get carried away by our playfulness sometimes, or even disregard or are unaware of the consequences of the things that we do that we consider fun. Let's circle back to the dating example because that's something that everybody can resonate with. Every woman you meet and date is unique. Sounds simple and straightforward, right? But most guys disregard this, or they don't even really consider this, because we're driven by our mind-dominated ego most of the time. And our ego tells us, do whatever makes you happy, king. You're the center of the universe. It's your narrative. Why would you care about what these women think? Just do whatever you like. These women, come on. They're just NPCs in your world. So you're going from one woman to the next, maybe even multiple at a time. What a stud, right? You feel invincible. You're on the top of the world. And that's where things go wrong. There are no free lunches. What goes around comes around. And whether or not you believe in karma, you probably felt that not everything in life goes your way and you're powerless to change that. But what you can do is be mindful of your decisions and actions and treat others the way you want to be treated. It's just that simple.
The nurturing spirits of a woman marks for a very different inner child to a man. Fundamentally, they cherish moments of support and care, whether they're the giver or the receiver. Women often appreciate thoughtful gestures, finding happiness in the little things that show someone care. It's that simple. They usually just want to feel cared for sometimes, but it usually goes straight over a man's head. If a man doesn't notice this, then the woman's reaction to this would maybe be to force it out of the man by being difficult in the man's eyes. But she really isn't though. Such as when she doesn't want to make a decision but will be unhappy when it isn't what she had in mind. To men, these sort of situations seem unsolvable because we try to solve it using logic. But all she really wants to know is if she's still in our hearts and our thoughts.
A clear example of women expressing their inner child is when they ask their partners to do something for them that they could clearly do themselves, like opening a jar, opening the door, or carrying something from the car. Another example could be when women switch their brains off and put complete trust in their partners. So, for example, when you're on vacation and you're going to a foreign country or foreign city, they put their trust in you to lead them and to guide them because they want to know that you're there for them and that you are trustworthy. These sort of acts allow women to feel safe and secure. So you might be wondering, what about my safety? What about my comfort? Well, then you're asking the wrong question, buddy, because if you really want to be in a relationship with a woman, then you got to step up sometimes because they're perfectly capable of doing all of those things by themselves and they don't need you to do it. But think about it for a second. Why are they asking you to do it? Because they trust you.
As a man, it's natural to want to protect your partner, while for women, they want to be protected and taken care of. So in a way, it works out in the end. The woman's inner child is taken care of, while the man's masculine side feels satisfied. However, at the same time, we can also see how men hate having responsibilities, while women love getting things done for them. This contradiction explains how you have men always complaining about their partners constantly nagging them and asking them to do things for them. By understanding the differences between a man and woman's inner child, you'll be able to understand why men and women act a certain way. This allows you to understand that many of the responses we receive from our partners are innate and natural. So the key to resolving many of the inner child outbursts is to address the child at heart and not use the logical mind. It basically all comes down to figuring out the emotions they're trying to express, not the words coming out of their mouths.